Will the real Baltimore Ravens please stand up? The Ravens have seemed to form and shape into a new version of themselves. But what's with this dichotomy? Before the bye week, inconsistent play. Post the bye week, more consistent. Before the bye week, inconsistencies in play calling. Post the bye week, a better blend of play calling. Before the bye week, inconsistency in defensive play. Post the bye week, an improved, more effective defense. Before the bye week, fan base was wondering, can we really make a playoff push? Post the bye week, the fans have begun to rally around the Baltimore Ravens. So what are we going to get in the playoffs? Will the real Ravens stand up? Or will there be a reverting back to the inconsistencies before the bye week? We discuss next on the GM. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the GM. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, the dichotomy of the Ravens and what they will be in the playoffs. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens have seemingly turned a corner as they have gotten out of the bye week, playing 3 games in roughly 11 days, all wins, all with their own version of dominance, all with their own version of effective run game mixed with an effective pass game, turnovers by the defense, consistency in stopping the run, and an uptick in sacks. And that provides the Baltimore Ravens fan base with some hope that this team is quote unquote peaking at the right time. Well, we've seen this version of Baltimore before. We've seen this version in 2023 where we began to get downhill on team after team after team, right? All teams that had something to play for, all teams that were at the top of their division, whether it was last year Miami Dolphins, last year's San Francisco 49ers, last year's whoever, right? You lined them up, we knocked them down, which is what kind of led to Lamar Jackson clinching his second MVP. And since the bye week, you line up the Giants where it was supposed to run over there. You line up the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? It was time for us to get some get back on the Steelers. And then you line up the Houston Texans, who had an opportunity on Christmas Day at home to kind of reestablish themselves, but we ran over them as well. All with their version of dominance. But here's the question. Will we keep up this mentality? Will we keep up this level of consistency? Will we keep the penalties at a minimum? Will we not have balls carry off of wide receivers' hands? Will Derrick Henry continue to run hard with a mixed bag of offensive line blocking? Will the Baltimore Ravens continue to mix in the tight ends, Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews? Will the defensive front continue to play on the other side of the line of scrimmage? Will Odafe Owe and Calvin Noy keep up their pressure? Will Kyle Hamilton continue to show a high level of range to go between being in the box and playing back deep? Will Adarius Washington continue to come up with big plays to change the tide of a game? Will Marlon Humphrey continue to play a lockdown level of nickel corner? All these things we have questions for until we get into the playoffs. But let's get into what have we actually seen. Can the Baltimore Ravens keep this up? Well, let's take a look at a couple of clips from the Ravens' most recent game.
More offense in the second and long. Jackson break contained and bursts up the sideline. Lamar Jackson showing off the speed for a big gain and a first down. They clock under 5. Rookie running back out of Marshall, Rasheen Ali in there. Sling it. Jackson connection. Flowers spins. First and goal.
As anybody we have right now in the NFL.
7 plays, 4 first downs, and now an 8th play for a touchdown. Derrick Henry pounds it home. Self, if necessary. Another handoff, another gashing play. Derrick Henry to midfield. He is a one-man wrecking crew for 21 yards. Have resulted in 10 points. Flowers the motion man, and stick with what's working. Derrick Henry weaving his way through to the 40. Jackson on 2nd and 10, avoids the sack. Now Jackson looking to run, looking to throw, looking to connect. Andrews on the run, down the sideline. Andrews accelerates inside the red zone. Kalen Bullock, full sprint to the tight end. What a play from Jackson to Andrews. Play action for Jackson. Pump. Jackson steps on the brakes, extending the play, throws end zone, touchdown. Isaiah Likely.
Yeah, when you look at these offensive clips, what you see is a straightforward offensive mentality. When you see Derrick Henry running, he's running right at the line of scrimmage. When you see Lamar Jackson extend the play, you're seeing what he's done all year. Extending the play, keep his eyes downfield, and delivering strikes. When you also see in those plays where Lamar Jackson extends the play, you see the tight ends and or wide receivers be on the same page to where if he's going right, they need to get into his line of vision so that he has multiple options. And it's a really cool thing to watch happen, right? They have continued that level of play all season long, so it's good to see it happening late in the season, right? And so the question that has to be answered by the Baltimore Ravens that they will not answer in the regular season is, will they do what they've been doing? That's the dichotomy of the Baltimore Ravens, right? That's the nature of discipline, doing what you're supposed to do when you're supposed to do it, right? Will Lamar Jackson keep up his willingness to run, right? I don't really want to see him have a lot of run called plays. I think he's still more damaging when he is scrambling and then he takes off when he sees the green grass open up. But this play in particular,
It's as good a running back as we've seen.
Jackson will keep this time. And look at the speed. Lamar Jackson is gone. Touchdown.
where you just see him hit the gas and accelerate, and defenders don't have any other options. That play is incredible when you see your quarterback just leave cornerbacks and safeties and linebackers in the dust. And that play first starts out with a deception on Will Anderson, who is a good edge rusher. That's what causes the play to break open in the first place. Can we keep that up? Right? Can Justin Tucker keep making his kicks? He stepped in this past game and did what he was supposed to do. He hit all the extra points and his field goal. Right? Will we continue to make timely turnovers like this?
Stroud rolls, throws. It is picked. Kyle Hamilton.
That pick by Kyle Hamilton was a right place, right time turnover. Can we keep that up? And even as hard as I have been on John Harbaugh this season, he has not made a decision that has fouled up things for the Baltimore Ravens. And maybe that's just because the games haven't been close. So there was no crucial decision that needed to be made. But I will give him credit for not getting in the way. So what can we lean into as a fan base? Well, I think the one thing that we can lean into is that this team has been proven, stamped, and sealed as a real playoff team and a team that has the potential to do some positive, good things in the playoffs. That's as much as I can give you. I believe we can lean into as a fan base. In that proving, what have we seen? Post-bye week, we've seen a bad team in the New York Giants who we took care of. You know, we've seen times throughout this season where we would face a bad team and we would just get in our own way and do things that wasn't conducive to winning, and we wouldn't win. That's how we lost against the Raiders. That's how we lost against the Browns. And that's how we've had some other struggles. But we came out against the Browns and we did start out that game a little bit wacky, right? We had a fumble and, that kind of thing. We had a lot of penalties in that game, but we corrected course and finished that game with a big win, right? We absolutely could have took a step back in that game, right? Then we faced off against Pittsburgh 6 days later. And we showed up and we made plays. We had 2 turnovers, a big time hit on the goal line. Well, near the goal line, actually. And turnover and a pick, I think, by Marlon Humphrey, which turned into 6 points, And then we offensively ran the ball pretty well and threw the ball pretty well and got out of that game with a double-digit win. And then 4 days later against Houston, who is a playoff team, we dominate them. And every team has flaws, the Giants, the Steelers, and Houston. But when you go 3-0 in 11 days, that says something. We could have had letdowns, right? I mean, think about it. We were without two guys who had been contributors offensively. We were without Nelson Aguilar, our third wide receiver, and then we were without Justice Hill, our number 2 running back, and we still came out of those games clean. And so I think that we can lean into that. We can lean into the Baltimore Ravens building. I think Lamar Jackson calls it stacking wins, stacking 3 wins in 11 days, each game being better than the last game, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers game was better than the Giants game. Why? They were a better team than the Giants, and we had a double-digit win. The Houston game was a better game than the Pittsburgh game. I believe why? Because we showed that we could run the ball against a nice defensive front, and we could throw the ball effectively against a nice secondary. And we didn't allow them to even get started offensively. And so now we need to close out the Cleveland Browns. When we face the Browns, we need to come out in that first half and put them away early. Don't even give them a thought that they have a possibility of winning that game. So that we can get off of that field early with our starters, allow us to see what we have in the backup, Josh Johnson, allow us to see what Ali and Mitchell can do at the running back position, allow us to see Devontae Walker, Tylan Wallace, and what they can do when they get extra snaps. We need to see that. We need to see Bo Braid in behind Ardarius Washington if we get a sizable lead in that game. We need to see David Ajabo at the edge rush position. We need to see TJ Tampa play some cornerback. We need to see those things. We actually need to see Trenton Simpson make an appearance because he has fallen out of a lot of snaps. So we need to see those things. So I think that we may have some questions, but we have proven some things as we've gone down these last 3 games. And so, man, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think the Baltimore Ravens have proven and what still needs to be proven in the playoffs, right? I think everything has to be proven in the playoffs. I'm your guy, Boulanger. This is the GM, and we're out.